The loss from last week, they were disappointed with themselves. You only have a short shelf life as a rugby league player, and playing on the big stage and disappointing the fans and disappointing your own pride, that hurts you, and that's what drives you on, Eddie.
Well, Johnny Lomax retains his place in the St Helens side despite the arrival of Ben Barber, and I must say that Barber looked quite diminutive alongside Alex Walmsley, didn't he?
Well, you're right. You know, St Helens have signed lots of players from Australia during my lifetime. Not since the 1980s, though, have I known there to be excitement since the signing of Mal Meninga. Ben Barber arrives here, there's so much great expectation on it, and we've got a perfect scenario for him to make his debut in the Super League competition.
Yes, you remember Jamie Lyon here at St Helens in 2005. Will Barber be as big a hit as him? His last game of rugby league in Cronulla's grand final win against Melbourne last October. He scored the first try in a 14-12 victory. All eyes now are on the grand final in the Northern Hemisphere. Robert Hicks, the match referee, blows the whistle. We're underway. This should be a very special 80 minutes. And Matty Smith, that's quite a welcome for him from his former teammates.
He knew exactly what was coming then, didn't he, Matty Smith? Frank Paul knew Asala. Well, if Matty Smith would have caught that ball and just stood his feet on his feet, he would have been wiped into next week.
Yes, that's what comes from playing for the opposition quite a few times in the past. Matty Smith, of course, grand final winner with Wigan last October. But it's Saints with first use of the football. John Wilkin taking the ball forward and straight into the chest of Liam Farrell. Here now is Kyle Amor. And they've reached tackle number 5. Wigan have restricted St Helens to just inside their own half. Matty Smith with an angle kick all along the ground, a real daisy cutter. Difficult to pick up, but Liam Marshall does.
It was a solid first set of 6 from Saints. No touch yet for Ben Barber, but the impressive part of the opening exchanges with the intensity of Wigan in defence. Can they match that when they've got the ball?
Wigan in possession with Anthony Gelling. Gets it into Thomas Luluai. Luluai then looks for the runners. Tony Clubb will take it forward and over halfway for the Wigan Warriors. So they're in St Helens territory in their opening set, which is something Saints failed to do. This now is Williams, gets it away to Tompkins. Good wide ball to Joe Burgess. He has Gildart in support on his inside. And Gildart, just as they did at Wembley last week. Wigan strike first here at St Helens. Silences the crowd at one end, gets them ecstatic at the other, and Sean Wayne's men off to a flying start. Oliver Gildart, a try against Hull at Wembley last weekend. The first try here at the Totally Wicked Stadium against the old enemy here tonight.
Well, it's not a bad start from Sean Wayne's men, restricting the metres that Saints made. All of a sudden, nice sweeping lines from Wigan. Goes out wide to Sam Tompkins, a little face pass then over to his wingman, and then all of a sudden Oliver Gildart backs up the middle. Look at that, all clean passes, nice in front. Joe Burgess just takes his time and passes it at the right time.
Don't they do that well, Wigan? They do that better than anybody else, taking the ball to the line with several options available to them, and the money ball from Sam Tompkins releases the winger, and in support Gildart. Wonderful start by Wigan.
Well, Oliver Gildart, who scored a try in last year's grand final win against Warrington, he is the man for the big occasion. And he has given them a tremendous start once again. Now, the lack of a recognised goal kicker has haunted Wigan this year. And George Williams has managed to strike the first one cleanly and get the ball over the top of the crossbar. 6-0, Wigan.
Well, all of the talk going into this game has been about the St Helens fullback, but it's the Wigan fullback who makes the first contribution. I think if Sam Tompkins...
20 metres out will play the ball. McIlorum gets it away to John Bateman. Another of the Wigan try scorers at Wembley last week. He got the first, didn't he? McIlorum asking for a penalty because he was being held down. Robert Hicks saying no thank you. This is Liam Farrell. Williams again. Gives it to his captain Sean O'Loughlin. 46th derby for O'Loughlin. And O'Loughlin having just a quizzical look at the official as well. Kick right down the middle. First touch in Super League for Ben Barber. Here he comes.
And what's waiting for him? Nice basic set. from Wigan when they were bringing the ball away from the try, and all of a sudden they just find that space, kick the ball to Barber and welcome him to Super League. The line speed's going to be big from Wigan. You look at Saints' bench, it's enormous. So they're going to meet fire with fire, but who's going to control their emotions? That's one of the telling points in a big derby game, Eddie.
Wasn't a bad first touch for Barber, to be fair, and here he is now. Gets it wide, and that bounces off Ryan Morgan. It's Gildart again, and Gildart down the line. He's beaten Barber for pace. It's a second try for Wigan. Second try for Gildart. What a start this is in the opening 5 minutes for the beaten Challenge Cup finalists. Had a quick word with Sean Wayne on the way up to the gantry here. He said, don't worry, we'll be all right tonight. I tell you what, they're looking all right in the opening 5 minutes. What a start.
Well, they're looking absolutely first class, not just in attack but in defence. The rewards from defence. Well, first of all, it was Gildart's first try, and then Barber, who gives a slightly dodgy pass. It's just a little bit over the shoulder of Ryan Morgan. He can't collect it. There it is. But it's the pressure from defence. Joe Burgess forces that mistake. And look at the pace from Gildart.
Joe Burgess, when he gets off the line and he intimidates Ryan Morgan, you can see that Ryan Morgan, as well as trying to catch this ball from Barber, he's got the pressure, he's trying to turn his back. And Gildart, well, he doesn't need second chance, does he? 2 tries in the opening 5 minutes. Incredible start for Sean Wayne's men.
To be fair to Ryan Morgan, that pass was behind him.
The pass was behind him, Ryan Morgan gets it wrong, and that's a great pick-up. He evades one defender and scores the second try. Big start.
Massive start for Wigan.
If you look at the attacking play that St Helens were attempting there, it was very similar to what Wigan did when they scored their try. The only difference was the accuracy of the pass.
This is Williams again, and he has kicked that one. Looked first of all as though it was going to the left-hand side of the post, but the ball was sliced off the outside of the boot and took the curl. And over the top it went. 12-0 inside the first 6 minutes.
Well, again, you see they used a fullback to try and create the extra man. They almost did it, but as the ball goes then to the winger, they then lost the possession, and I'm surprised and impressed with how quick Gildart was there. Great pace.
Delight on the faces of the supporters of Wigan to the right of your screen. I had a little look inside there when we had the shot of them, and one of the supporters just looked at his mate and said, wow. And wow it is.
Well, they can't believe it, but Saints are a quality side. You look at the last 2 games and people saying, yeah, well, they've lost the last 2 Saints going into this derby game. They've only lost by 2 points in both of those fixtures, against Leeds and against Hull. So they're in it right the way till the end, but they've got to control this rampant Wigan side.
Salford ahead, 6-0 against Wakefield. Here is a penalty going St Helens' way for a faulty play the ball, Stuart.
No, doesn't he interfere with the St Helens player? Grabs him by the leg here.
Ankle there.
Just like last night then. Just like last night.
Exactly it.
The powerful run from Nuasala, and in his attempt to play the ball, he just committed the cardinal sin, giving a penalty away while you're in possession.
Could have been a faulty play of the ball anyway, I suppose, but I know what you're saying. It was a pull on the leg. The defender who had it.
The first offence the referee sees is the leg pull, and it's an easy one for a referee to see.
So here's a chance for St Helens to reply. This is Amor. Amor struggling to get to his feet. Roby is behind him. This is Matty Smith. Smith drops the pass off to Wilkin. First threat on this Wigan line. Roby once again. Away it goes to Matty Smith. He finds Lomax, and he's greeted by Williams' tackle. They're 7 metres away from the Wigan line with Roby. It comes to Thompson. Thompson trying to outmuscle those 3 defenders, Clubb, McIlorum and Nuasala. Tompkins in there for good measure. Roby waiting, fires the pass back to Smith. Smith is grounded by George Williams. That's good defence from the Wigan standoff. Barber then finds Wilkin. Wilkin, nice chip to the in-goal area almost. Tompkins gets it, takes a bit of a ping from, was it Bateman underneath him?
Good defence, wasn't it, as well, from Wigan. George Williams hunting on the inside, knowing what his former teammate was going to do in Matty Smith, and look at that for the take. Didn't even look at John Bateman in front of him. The only thing he was looking at was catching that ball.
St Helens now trying to keep Wigan penned down in their own quarter, and that will not help them. Lomax conceding the penalty, not getting away from the grounded player quick enough. And credit to Joe Burgess, actually, for Liam Marshall, I beg your pardon, for struggling to get to his feet, demanding the penalty from the referee, and so he came.
Well, he earns the penalty, doesn't he, because the way he's fighting.
Was affected, I've penalised. Players have got to let the defenders get off. Come on.
Robert Hicks having a little word with Sean O'Loughlin, even though they have this penalty.
He wants to make sure that the rucks are clean. It's a free-flowing game as well.
That's what we all want to see. Fast, free-flowing stuff.
Go.
Don't be Barry.
Yeah. Hold this 10, Luke. Hold it. Go. That's better.
Halfway line, Wigan in possession. Luluwai. Club. Club gets Wigan over halfway.
Stand. Go to.
McIlorum goes right. Luluwai up the middle. Goes through a couple of would-be challengers. Good job that he lost his footing and that Thompson was there. Here is Bateman. Bateman gets it away to Tompkins. This is Williams. Went down on one knee, still managed to get up. Amor after him. Can't release the ball because Roby trapped it to his chest. Will now play the ball to McIlorum. It's with O'Loughlin. Here is Luluwai. Luluwai then to Bateman. Lomax doing well. Low down, helped out
to offload that then, Eddie.
by Percival. He did, and they're asking for a knock-on. Wasn't forthcoming. O'Loughlin dabs the ball into open space. Tompkins is after this. And Ryan Morgan just about holding his nerve.
Well, that's a skill set from Sean O'Loughlin. He can power drive, he can make sure, he can put his hand up and do the hard stuff, but there's a delicate touch from that kick. He tries to offload the ball, keeps control of it, no issues with that. Good defensive set from Saints. They're being tested.
Fingers on the back of his hand, Stuart.
Looks that way, doesn't it? You couldn't actually see the ball come away from him, so he's got away with that one.
And Barry's got no problems with it, so that's all that matters. That's all fine. Here's Nuasala.
James, move. Go.
This now McIlorum. Good run from Liam Farrell.
It's a very good line. Liam Farrell behind the ruck.
No sign of a cup hangover yet from Wigan. This is O'Loughlin, gets it away to Luluwai. He finds Bateman. Saints under the pump in defence again. 11 metres out. O'Loughlin had to stretch for that. Showed it, held it, bullocks the pass to Burgess. Burgess then changes direction away from Wilkin. Tries to go between two, Taya and Amor. They drag him back a metre or two. This is McIlorum. McIlorum deciding to take the responsibility on himself. Now then, that's good defence, I think it is. He's held up.
Yeah, Kyle Amor
is held up.
Turnover, Tony.
It's a good foil.
Give him the ball.
A good attempt by Tony Clubb. Gets down low, gives the dummy.
On the 10.
Not a bad place to hand the ball over, but again, tested, challenged, and St Helens, I know they've let 2 tries in. They've had to do a heck of a lot of defending in the opening 11 minutes.
Hold, go.
Good goal line defence.
Yes, that will lift their confidence after being split apart twice in the opening 6 minutes.
Well, they'll have their time in this game, Saints. They've got some forwards that go forward. The man who's behind the dummy half, James Roby, he makes more metres per carry from dummy half than any other player in Super League. He's a tremendous player, reads the game well. He just needs those quick play the balls.
Kick from Lomax is deep and is picked up by Tompkins. Here is Liam Marshall again. 30 metres out. Liam Marshall goes down first tackle. Tompkins waits behind him. This now Gelling, and he finds Burgess, who had to pick that up almost off the top of his shoulder, held on to it. Under pressure from those three, Amor and Smith and Wilkin. Here's 2 try Oliver Gildart, taking Wigan almost to the halfway line. Doubt if he's ever scored 2 tries as quick as he has tonight. Williams. O'Loughlin again. Farrell now. And down this left-hand side once again, the Wigan Warriors. 4 tackles gone now. George Williams gives it to Luluwai. And Paul Nuasala goes down, tackle number 5. Amor was lying in the ruck. The ball hit him and ricocheted off him.
The wrong side of the play ball, Kyle Amor. Such a big man, Nuasala. have to get in front of him, get your shoulder in, but if you end up on the wrong side, he's not allowed to just simply lie there. He has to attempt to get out of the way.
How about the way that Kyle Amor got to his feet, Stuart? Because shouldn't they stand, regain their feet, and then put the ball on the floor?
Nuwasala.
They
should do. I think he attempted to, but was interfered to start with, so he's sort of left the ball on the floor. You shouldn't use it as a lever. Technically, you've got to lift that ball clear. But the referee's seen it that the major infringer there was Kyle Amor. And of course, the penalty is where he should have been at the ruck, which is 10 metres further up. He's an offside player, so it's on the 10 metres.
So it's a golden opportunity for George Williams to make it 3 from 3.
Whenever you play against Frank Paul Nuwasala, he hasn't really got a footwork. He's only going to go direct, pick out a couple of defenders. He leaves them behind and earns this penalty.
And Williams takes full advantage of that. George Williams, his 100th start for Sean Wayne's Wigan. And something for the St Helens coaching staff to think about. They don't look terribly animated at the moment. Justin Holbrook, Sean Long, Derek Traynor, and the fans look a little concerned as well. Well, they might. So Makinson restarts for St Helens, straight to Gelling.
And I'll go back to my point, Eddie. This Saints side will have a good period in this game. It's whether Wigan can handle that good period as they look to shift it again here.
And Gildart sees another little space. He's closed down by Matty Smith. Burgess, Farrell, O'Loughlin. Wilkins stood his ground. McIlorum again. Farrell. Castleford, the league leaders and league leaders shield winners, 6 up at Huddersfield. Wakefield have levelled things up at Salford. Wigan in control at the moment, 12-0. In possession with Tompkins, grounded by Lomax. Kick from Gelling, downfield. Collected by Regan Grace. 20th consecutive appearance for Grace since his eye-catching debut against Wigan on Good Friday.
Well, he's another player that gets the crowd going, isn't he?
Yeah, you're right, Terry. You know, Wigan hit the mute button on the home supporters when they scored those 2 tries in the first 5 minutes, and they need something, don't they, to lift them and the team. The run by Grace has got them going forward, and there's a very risky offload.
Well, Thomas
made sure it was all right.
Sorry, Eddie. Thomas Luluai came out of the line to hit Morgan Knowles. Bounced off.
Here goes Roby. That's the sort of run that will lift the Saints' spirits. Collared by Bateman. Here is Smith. They have broken field play down this right-hand side if they can get it wide, and Wilkin couldn't. Last tackle coming up. Barber, dummy half to Smith. He'll hoist the kick wide to the left-hand side. Marshall's underneath this. It's knocked all over the place, and Zeb Taylor has touched it down and said it's come off somebody's shoulder.
We got no try.
They've got no try in the field.
Check the challenge in the air for a possible knock-on, and all the rest through to the ground in then.
It was Purcell that went up in the air,
Taylor
wasn't
is
it?
the referee in the video box tonight. First thing is offside, onside.
That's right, they'll be checking the onside first. Everyone looks fine on that far side chasing the ball. So it comes down to the challenge in the air. Is there a knock-on? It certainly looks like it comes off Saints player first. Is it Percival who gets up highest? Does he touch the ball? And does it go forward? Well, it hits Percival, and then it goes on to Zeb Taylor. Hits him on the chest. I think that ball's knocked forward from Mark Percival's hand.
Zeb Taylor's behind him, though. Must it go backwards?
At the moment, he's behind him. He's still travelling forward. So the video referee's got to be certain that that ball has gone sideways or backwards for this to carry on. Given that it's been shown as a no try on the field, I think this will probably be called as a knock-on. As it goes from that position, it certainly looks like it's gone forward.
But that's when it came off Taylor's shoulder as it moves forward. But it's a no try call on the field, which is always the problem. And no try it is. It's always a problem when it's sent up as a no try, as Wigan know to their cost from the Wembley final.
Well, Saints are dangerous when they play that unstructured rugby. All comes from the back of James Roby's run. They get into this field position to put this kick in, and it's just a little chance that they need to come up with 6 points.
So it was a knock-on, and that was a turnover then. And so Wigan trying to work the ball away from their own line. Gelling gets the ball away.
Good tackle from Regan Grace.
Well, and it's on Michael McAlorum, who's one of the toughest in the business. And Regan Grace put him on his backside.
Well, there's not many that's sitting down on his backside, is there? Look at that, the shot from the winger.
That will hurt him. Not in pain, but because a winger has put him on his back.
Here is Sean O'Loughlin. St Helens suddenly appear to be at the pace of this game now. Remember, they've never, ever missed out on the playoffs in the Super League history before. So it's a big match, big night, big prize.
I think you can trace the start of St Helens. Real lift in this game was that run by Regan Grace a few minutes ago. And Michael McAlorum takes a rest, he's coming off the field. Mark Percival again, been arguably their best and most exciting and a dangerous attacking player. Not seen a lot of opportunity of him yet.
And I think that's a head check that Michael McAlorum is going off for after that big collision with Regan Grace. So at the moment, it's a free interchange. Here is a chance though for Taylor again. He's got over the line, wants to be denied. This now Mark Percival. Here is Regan Grace. Well, he knew that he was very tight to the touchline, put the brakes on and cut back inside. Barber was there with him and he was the dummy half. This is Lomax. Lomax to Smith. Smith then on it comes to Wilkin. Wilkin wide to Morgan. Tries to step inside Gildart. Ryan Morgan goes down, tackle number 5. John Wilkin. Matty Smith hoists the kick out to the left-hand side. Looking for Mark Percival again. Knocked back. Picked up by Barber. Touched by Wigan, twice, touched by Wigan 3 times. But no, it's a penalty to Wigan here.
Pulled back without the ball. Ben Barber is the one that's been penalised.
Well, he's good in the air, isn't he, Mark Percival? That's a good battle over there on Saints' left between him and Anthony Gelling.
So Barber adjudged to have pulled the player back out of possession.
Yep, that's what the penalty's been awarded for from Robert Hicks.
Well, I think we've said it's a head test for Michael McAlorum. Let's get confirmation. Angela Powers downstairs.
It is indeed, Eddie. That tackle by Regan Grace on Michael McAlorum knocked the stuffing out of him, but also he took a bit of a hit on the jaw and in the head, so he's been taken off as a precaution. Concussion test. I'll keep an eye on, see when he's coming back out.
It is again. Oh, it was a real clash, wasn't it?
Wow.
Well, right on the edge of the chin. Sam Powell then, he is McAlorum's replacement. This is Willie Isa, he's off the bench as well for Wigan. The right on halfway. This is O'Loughlin. Williams tries to go inside Matty Smith. Bit of help from Thompson. Luke Thompson, down he goes. Powell helps it to centre field to Tompkins. He then finds Lulawai. It's a high kick, it's a good kick too. Well fielded by Regan Grace, this. Tautai's on as well. Sean Wayne using his substitutions early, obviously with Wembley and the exertions in mind, but that's a penalty.
He looks so comfortable in first team rugby, Regan Grace now. He earns his side a penalty. It's a confident take. He runs hard against 2 of the bigger players, and Talima Tautai is all over the young winger.
You can look at the actions of what the Wigan players are doing. Both Talima Tautai and Willie Isley, they're looking round at the referee, Robert Hicks, waiting for that move call, waiting for them to tell him to get off. Obviously, on that occasion, there was just no movement, and it gives him no option but to give the penalty away. But they're trying to slow Saints down as much as possible.
Well, that tackle was called a surrender tackle by the referee, and he gave them extra time, he called them off, and they still stayed on, so they've no excuse for that penalty.
So Saints in possession, and Alex Walmsley is off the bench for them. He gets over halfway. Alex Walmsley in the dream team 2 years ago. He's top of the charts at Saints for carries and metres forward.
He's got a high work rate, and you've got to work really hard when he's on the field.
Smith to Wilkin. Wilkin dabs the ball into open space. Ryan Morgan's quick. So too is Joe Burgess, but Burgess is slid into touch. That's good attacking play by the Saints.
Big effort from Ryan Morgan. Scored a couple of tries down his side, Wigan, in the first 5 minutes. But look, a little look at the effort here on Burgess. tries to stay in the field of play. The little effort, the little nudge, knowing that where he is on the touchline, you could see he was trying to get his feet in the field of play, Joe Burgess, but the effort from that man just does enough.
Ryan Morgan played in every game but 3 this year, his debut season, and he hasn't scored for a month or so since the win in France against the Catalan Dragons.
Well, Ben Barber scored the first try in the Australian Grand Final from a scrum situation. The supporters would love him to do it again now.
Lomax finds that man Barber, who gets to the corner. He's got it down! He has got it down as Ben Barber. Well, it hasn't been given yet by Robert Hicks.
This will be one.
But they have a try on the field. There was nothing wrong with the grounding from our view up here. It's just a question of whether his feet, I suppose, straight over the whitewash, but I think they're miles away, Stuart.
Yeah, well, I think he's just bothered about how the ball gets to the ground, and that'll be why. Oh, is it stolen?
Anthony Gelling's hand is on the ball. Is it enough to say it's stolen?
Well,
does it simply just come out of his grasp?
There's certainly an action towards the ball.
Well, it's no try. I think we know that, don't we? Or is it?
Well, is it? Because he could, if the ball's been stolen and then grounded correctly, then it will be a try.
You could go back to the Challenge Cup last week, couldn't you?
Well, you could, but let's deal with this one.
It's definitely helped on its way. Definitely helped on its way.
There's definitely a hand in there from Anthony Gelling.
Well, I think that ball's being pulled out by Anthony Gelling, so it goes to ground. Should be play on with the advantage, and Ben Barber puts his hand on top of the ball to score the try.
This could be Mystic Phil.
Yes, he got the crystal ball out, did Clarkey, no doubt about that. But the ball has come free.
I don't think, for what it's worth, not my opinion, I don't think it should be a try. You can't hold on to the ball when you're going over the try line, then the defenders are going to be arrested. That's happening so quickly. I think really it doesn't deserve to be a try. It didn't deserve last week when Wigan had that Tony Club incident at Wembley, and for me, that shouldn't be a try here tonight.
Well, the thing with Ben Barber, when he's in possession, he doesn't lose the ball at any point other than when it is pulled out by Anthony Gelling in what is a 3-man tackle. You know, he's going onto the ball. He never ever parts from the ball, apart from that point when it's pulled out. So I think that's a ball steal. The ball's then grounded correctly, and I think this should be a try.
He attracts so many defenders, doesn't he, Ben Barber?
He does. If the try is turned down, Stuart, the worst that St Helens can expect is a penalty the other side of the line, because you don't get a penalty try for that anymore.
Well, no, but if you're going to give a penalty, you would have to give the try.
Okay. Well, it's Ben Thaler who has the decision, and he's given Ben Barber a dream start to his life in the Betfred Super League. Try from the base of the scrum, just like it was 12,000 miles away in his last game of rugby league 11 months ago.
Well, I said at the start of this game, there's a lot of expectation on that man, Ben Barber, who's got the ball. He's a genius, and you look at the footwork, the balance that he's got. He just holds up Anthony Gelling, tries to get him as a one-on-one, and then Anthony Gelling, he's reaching, trying to close him down. And again, just watch the footwork of him. The Wigan defenders, they're backing off, they're backing off, they're backing off. All of a sudden, that little jink is just enough to get over the try line.
I've watched that a couple of times now. I'm still trying to work out how he gets in between players, how he ends up on the other side of contact and puts himself in a position to put that ball down, whether it gets knocked out or not. The skill and ability to get himself into that position, I think that's the threat he has with the ball, and the way that the Wigan defenders backed off because of the anxiety and the nerves when he's got the ball in his hand.
Well, they all say in St Helens, and they say the same in Wigan, no matter what you do during the course of the season, just beat the opposition from across the road. And so Ben Barber is already a hero in this particular part of town.
That is until you don't make the grand final.
Or the playoffs. And this conversion attempt from Mark Percival is just wide of the mark. But Barber is up and running in his Super League career, somewhat controversially maybe, and I wonder what Sean Wayne thinks of this try decision. There you go. Don't think he's terribly impressed.
No, on his side have had the whole opening quarter all to themselves. It took us 21 minutes to see Ben Barber in good field position. Wasn't as if he was one-on-one against defenders. He had 3 in front of him. Did remarkably well.
You have to ride with the luck throughout the course of the season. The highs and the lows, the balls when they bounce for you and against you. In a recent game here, St Helens lost, perhaps when the referee should have ordered a penalty against the team that beat them with a kick. But again, they've had one that's gone in their favour, and they needed it, because at 14-0, they were looking lost.
Well, Ben Barber scores the first try for St Helens tonight, his first try in Super League. If St Helens go on and win this match, Ben Barber will be alongside our own John Wells at the touchscreen at the end of the match. There's a long way to go yet before we can tell you who's going to be there with John. But Saints now have got a chance. Luke Douglas is on the field. He's missed the last 3. Australian with Scottish descent, a 7-time international for the men from north of the border. This is Alex Walmsley. Roby. Powell is lying in the ruck. Saints fans baying for a penalty. Taylor gets it wide to Mark Percival. There is Regan Grace! Regan Grace! Well, he went for it himself. He could have passed the ball in field. I think it was Lomax who was screaming for it on the inside. And Regan Grace went for glory, and Sam Tompkins denied him.
He's turned up with an attitude that I'm going to show you. You can talk about every Saints player in the book, but I'm going to turn up and show you what Sam Tompkins can do. Look at the acceleration from that man, Mark Percival. Gives it to Regan Grace. He tries to just hold up Sam Tompkins, but that's fabulous defence. The little in and away doesn't fool one of the most experienced players on the field.
They're on it tonight, Wigan. They're committed in everything that they're doing. Regan Grace, a wonderful talent. You could argue if he passes it back inside to John Lomax, that's a certain try. I feel certain that Justin Holbrook will feel that way too. But the young man was prepared to run his luck, try and beat the wily old Sam Tompkins. But Tompkins was up to the task.
The ball's passed inside, and Lomax is over, probably under the sticks. 6 points blown, and Tompkins, great defence to be fair.
You look at both sides, and you can say about Wigan, they look determined. They look like they've turned up with the right attitude. You look at Saints and you think, they look sharp.
There you go, that's what he thinks, Eddie. I think he's with you, it's a chance missed, but the go forward was good. There were some powerful charges, they found space on the edge and gave themselves a try-scoring opportunity.
Well, Regan Grace, of course, he made his debut at Wigan on Good Friday, scored a breathtaking try, really did catch the eye. He's not been shifted from the side since. Adam Swift played in the reserve fixture with Hulkingston Rovers before this game got underway. And Tompkins now with a high kick. It bounces off the head of Tompkins and puts it back to Talima Tautai. Dab to the corner from Powell. Invitation for Joe Burgess. Morgan to the rescue.
Well, he had to be there, didn't he, then?
And Morgan is saying that surely should have been a free play for us.
I wondered why he caught that ball and took the option to run into touch. He must have thought he was going to get the ball back. He has time, in my opinion, he has time to dig his heels in, turn round, try and get back in field.
But it was last tackle as well, I think. So he had to get rid of the ball.
I thought it was off his head. It was actually off the top of his shoulder.
Can't work out what Oliver Gilday's so furious about here. He decides that the corner flag's having it. Just watch here. It's got to go.
I don't think Ryan Morgan realistically could have done anything there, apart from get the ball, go to ground or go out the field of play.
Or turn the other direction and go infield instead of out of field. But we don't know what he's thinking. He might have thought Sam Tompkins had knocked that ball on. Oh, big Al.
Tie on Walmsley.
You see it?
Two big bodies there. Good luck splitting that one up.
Touch judge is on from the far side because it was his side of the field that this started.
Let's go away, guys, please. Let's go away, please. Let's get away. It doesn't matter whether he's right or wrong. It doesn't matter. Let's wait for his teams. Keep away. Let's get his heads in.
It's John
Bayman.
Bayman.
It's John Bayman. He's only... He's holding on to Alex Walmsley. There's not much in that.
Alex, come here.
There's nothing there.
I don't know why he reacted like that.
Well, let's have a look.
We just need to
It's a tug of the shirt. Alex Walmsley says, get off my shirt, you're not getting the advantage. Whether it's my shirt, my neck, my hair, 10 metres on a try. Step back, Bateman.
Two Yorkshiremen causing mayhem in this
Bowling, please, George.
Wigan Saints derby. 12 all at Salford. Wakefield. Important match for both. Wakefield just above these two in fourth in the table on 28 points. Saints and Wigan on 27. Salford just behind. O'Loughlin. Williams. Farrell. Backing into Matty Smith. Held by Matty Smith and Wilkin. Wilkin trying to clear the ruck. The referee rightly says play on. Williams to Tautai. There's Walmsley. Plays the ball then Tautai to Powell. Williams. Luluai. Short ball. Gelling. Gives it to Marshall. Marshall goes down, tackle number 5. Far side of the field. Wigan's right. Tompkins. Back it comes to Luluai. Crossfield kick. Looking for Burgess. Finding Burgess. He gets it away to Farrell, and Farrell, well, if it just went back an inch or two more, Gildart may be in for a hat-trick.
It wasn't the best set of 6 though from Wigan. Can credit Saints' defence. Again, they're turning up in numbers, forcing Wigan into making that hurried pass and mistake.
It was deliberate, wasn't it? They sent the best high catcher, Joe Burgess, with 3 men behind him. It was clear what the intention was, to knock it back or whatever with the best player and then still have the overlap, but they didn't find the man.
I agree, Phil. I think the Wigan side took a mental snapshot of that. We'll see that again. Sean Wayne, he thinks his side could have done a little bit better. A mistake has happened.
Time off.
Or is there
He's injured. Go away, he's injured. Tackle 2, time off.
Look at the tackle there.
Tackle 2. Let's go away, guys. Let's see if he's
Wigan
all
player
right.
comes diving in.
Mate, he's injured. He needs to be seen.
McCarthy scars puts in a bit of strife. Saro attacks the leg.
But it's Willie Iser going into the side of the knee.
Willie Iser.
Tackle 2, mate.
I've said
Tackle
before,
2.
I don't like to see those.
Let him just sort it out. Let him get seen to.
Well, what they're looking to see is does he go in at the side of the knee, or does he go in with the natural bend, for want of a better phrase, of the knee? So it's difficult to tell. It's a difficult one to do with this in the situation they have. He comes in from the back, really, doesn't he? I think McCarthy Scarsburg just sort of twists as whether he sees him coming or I don't know.
Don't like to see it though, do you? You don't like to see that. 2 men holding him up, 1 man coming in low. Could be in a spot of bother here, Willie Iser.
We've got him, he's hit from behind, and he's probably got, we think he's in the crease from our view. We're going to put the incident on report. Okay. Sean?
Well, there you are, you've heard it first.
John?
The incident goes on report.
But I think that's all that will happen. It's very difficult to tell
James,
if there's any foul
captain
play
now.
in that from what they've got, so they put the incident on report.
We're unsure on the point of contact and whereabouts he's hit on the knee. The incident's going on report. It's tackle 2.
Well, who knows what the disciplinary authorities will make of this.
Well, a former referee wrote an article recently called Greg McCallum saying that it's almost becoming too difficult to referee the sport because you could look at this maybe 100 times before you determine whether that's illegal play or just a tackle with 3 men trying to put the Saints player on the floor.
It's on report anyway, it'll be looked at again. Willie Iser involved in the tackle there with John Bateman. And fortunately, Louis McCarthy's Scarsburg looks like no particular damage done. Here he is.
What it has done, Eddie, and I'm sure it will do, is add a bit more petrol to this game, to the fire. Again, the referee's trying to work with the defenders, telling them to move. Once the tackle's been made, you can see Nicky McAlorum, he's trying to hold in, he's trying to squeeze Dominic Peru, just makes it too sloppy again.
If you notice there, that tackle then, the 5th tackle, the end of the set, that's a massive momentum shift here now from St Helens kicking the ball from their own half to attacking in Wigan's.
Took it off, please, Joe.
Yes, they begin this set 30 metres out.
So all of a sudden, been under pressure near their own try line, get 2 penalties, and now look where they are.
Salford 12, Wakefield 18. Team in 4th, going well against Salford. This is Lomax. And Huddersfield leading against Castleford, 10-6. McCarthy Scarsbrook, Wigan fans don't appreciate it, I think, the fact that he's quickly back up on his feet again after the incident going on report. This is Smith. It's a bit unkind, really. Here's Barber, feeds Morgan. Oh, Morgan couldn't get the ball out to Makinson.
Well, didn't he do well to recover them, Wigan? Because Oliver Gildat, he was the man who pulled the trigger. He shot in, which that put pressure on his wingman, Joe Burgess. You could see that he was backing off, waiting for those inside defenders. They came, George Williams was there, Liam Farrell, look, backs off, then all of a sudden pushes on to the next man, but he's helped out by his teammates.
Coming up to the half-hour mark, Wigan ahead 14-4. And don't forget, tomorrow we're in the qualifiers again. Tomorrow evening, London Broncos will take on the Warrington Wolves just before 8 o'clock. Sky Sports Arena for that. London Broncos against the Warrington Wolves, 5-8. Half an hour gone then. Referee has stopped the clock, as you see, because Williams hasn't fed the scrum yet. Now he has, and timer's back on.
Good shot. Straight from the scrum.
And Willie Isa.
Willie Isa's eyes are
wide open.
That's the one, though. That's the battle of the game, Eddie.
Here's Tautai. St Helens have upped the ante defensively here. O'Loughlin with a solid run.
Oh, he leads the way all the time, doesn't he?
Oh, the ball has come free, but it's been stolen.
Oh, Sean O'Loughlin knows when you need to come up with a captain's knot. Whether you need to open that play up, give it to the likes of Oliver Gildat outside you, or come up with a strong carry straight into the heart of the defence. James Roby trying to turn him on his back. Was Sean O'Loughlin, did he know exactly what he was doing here? Did he release the ball, knowing that James Roby's arms are all over him?
See, I think that's an impossible situation for the referee. He can't read those, can he? I mean, I know they don't and shouldn't take a guess, but I think they just try and take a guess there. Don't you, Stuart, really?
Well, I think it's more to do with the tackle is around the ball and the ball ends up coming out, so invariably they're going to go with the ball carrier.
Bateman had to get down quickly to that.
Hold. Go, 3.
Wasn't expecting it. Here is Tompkins. Isa. Forward he goes again. Down he goes, 15 metres away from the line. McIlorum to the right-hand side with Luluai now Bateman. Last one for Wigan here this set. McIlorum to Luluai. O'Loughlin. Back it comes. Williams, nice kick. Nice kick, and defensively, Makinson up to the task.
Really smart kick from George Williams. It was a good building set from Wigan. They rode that pressure, absorbed that pressure that Saints put them under. He takes it to the line, and nice left foot dab. Gildat and Burgess hunting for the ball, and they'll get a repeat set of 6.
Well, he will have been delighted with the start his team made, Sean Wayne, and then the battle was joined by St Helens, but he still has a 10-point advantage. Just shy of 8 minutes to the half-time siren. What would Justin Holbrook give for a try before the half-time hooter? Barber trying to rally the troops here to chase this goal-line dropout from Matty Smith, which has good length on it. Tautai will bring it forward. Halted by Luke Douglas, Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook, Zeb Taylor.
Release! Go 1, he's in.
McIlorum, Bateman again.
2, move, Luke! Get square, wait, go 2.
Here's Luluai. Back it comes to O'Loughlin. Peyru hanging on grimly. Joined by McCarthy, Scarsbrook, helped by Roby. Williams now. Off the legs of Morgan, and Morgan gobbles the possession up for St Helens.
He's come up with a couple of good reads in this game, Ryan Morgan. Again forcing the header by shooting in, times that tackle to perfection. You can see when he thinks that it's time to go in, he goes in, turns his hips, turns his shoulders and pressures Sam Tompkins into the mistake.
Half-time at Salford, 22-12 to Wakefield. the team sitting in fourth. And if they win that one, no matter what happens here, Wakefield will stay fourth.
That'll be a big win for the morning. The pressure's on from these two sides now.
So they go to 30 points. Saints and Wigan looking to get to 29. Nice offload. Matty Smith.
And don't forget Wakefield play Saints next Thursday as well. Another big game.
That'll be huge, depending on what happens here. And what happens at Salford, of course. Oh, that's Percival. The referee has given a penalty to Wigan.
Well, this will be interesting to see what happens with Mark Percival when he goes up in the air. Is it a legal challenge for the ball?
Once he catches the ball, he can't knock him in the end goal. Time off.
You know, we're almost making it that you can't challenge for the ball in the air, right? It's becoming like football where the goalkeeper's protected perhaps too much in my like when the ball comes in from a corner.
That's a legal challenge for me.
Well, there's still contact in the air, isn't it? That's the problem with a situation like that.
Sure, there's always contact in the air when both players are going for the ball.
I agree, and some of it's incidental, but in that case, the referee's decided that him pushing him back into the in-goal area involved tackling him in the air.
Bubbling away nicely this game, isn't it? 14-4 the scoreline, but it's nip and tuck. About 34 minutes of a proper contest.
McIlorum into centre field to Luluai. This is Williams again. Farrell is the runner. The defence from Morgan. He's been impressive tonight as Ryan Morgan defensively. Not been bad in attack either when he's had the opportunity. Luluai. Tompkins gets away from Lomax, skips away from two more. Tompkins looking for support, there was nobody there. Walmsley gets him down. Tompkins will play the ball to Gelling. Here now, O'Loughlin. Now Luluai. The aerial route again. Bit of a ricochet, and Matty Smith allowed the ball to bounce. It came back to him, thankfully, for his point of view.
Well, Wigan shifting Saints around from one side of the pitch to the other, knowing that Saints, when they are defending, they're backing off. They're that congested in the middle, waiting for Wigan to take the battle to them in that area.
Regan Grace, the man who played the ball. This is Makinson, he does likewise. Here comes Alex Walmsley. Good defensive set this from Wigan, though. They've restricted Saints to inside their own half. Barber with a kick. So he's trapped on the floor by Tompkins. And he fires the pass then to Burgess, who goes back the same way.
There's a good chase by Saints, and Alex Walmsley's run looks good on the back of Makinson's run. Oh, look at that. He picks up that ball, Marshall. He doesn't see the huge figure, Alex Walmsley, in front of him.
All he saw was a shadow.
I don't know how he could miss him. Must have had his eyes shut.
You can't blame him, can you? Gelling. Here is Williams.
Again, look at Saints' edge players. They're all backing off. The middlemen for Saints need to work harder pushing those players out.
Liam Farrell.
There's a problem there. Is it Ryan Morgan that's gone down? Or is it Matty Smith?
Matty Smith it is. OK, though, back in the defensive line now. Here's Sam Tompkins, gives it to Isa. Isa to Luluai. Luluai then wide, it goes to Bateman. This is Gelling. Gelling was almost through. Last tackle coming up then as the referee tells St Helens to release him. O'Loughlin to Luluai. Then to Tompkins. Now to Williams. Williams attacking the line, gets it away to Gildart. Really impossible for Gildart to get through then, beaten by sheer weight of numbers.
Well, if you cast your mind back to the start of the Super 8, St Helens had a tremendous win when they played Castleford Tigers away from home. And they defended in a similar manner to what they're having to do now. They're under tremendous pressure again here. Wigan throwing everything at them here with just less than 3 to half-time.
Makinson will play it. That's Roby. Here comes Luke Douglas again. Ben Barber, the dummy half. Fires it wide to Lomax. Lomax then to Taya. Taya gets it to Percival. He says to Regan Grace, you have a go. Comes back off the line.
He's done well on a couple of occasions to get back in field, hasn't he? Regan Grace. Percival goes short side.
It was risky that, because there wasn't much room, but he manages to stay the right side of the touchline. Lomax. Lomax displaced from full-back by Ben Barber tonight, playing standoff alongside Matty Smith. And here is Matty Smith with the kick on halfway. It's high, and Tompkins pouches that easily. Gives it to Burgess, but that was a great tackle again by Ryan Morgan.
Another good tackle, and I'll be interested to find out the messages from both coaches after half-time. It might be as simple, and it seems to me, it appears the team that generates that quick speed and that quick ruck speed, quick play of the ball, gives themselves the better opportunities to exploit some space and find some edge space.
Stand, hold, go.
Marshall plays the ball to Tompkins. This now Farrell. Spins away from the couple. Payru gets to him and Farrell loses the ball. Knock on.
Well, he holds his hand up and acknowledges to his teammates that he's made the mistake.
Big opportunity here for the Saints right before half-time. Knocked out of his grasp by Payru.
Well, Dominic Payru's is going to affect the tackle. He's just trying to hit him.
Loose carry though, Stuart.
Yeah.
Get the ball up, please, Matt.
He's got to have a better grip than that. It's just part of the tackle. He hasn't even just attacked the ball.
And yet, if he was going over the try line and then grounded it, we would look with the video.
You still have the same choice. You know, is it part of the tackle or is it actually a pull or ball steal?
Matty Smith's had to leave. He had that collision a moment or two ago. The doctor's not happy with it. They're going to assess him. A little bit of reshuffling now for Saints. The last time they had a scrummy, decent field position, Ben Barber got over the try line.
Head in, hang on. Let's let everyone get it in. The time's off, so you get the time anyway. Come on, let's get it. Mike, get it. I'll tell you when, John. Heads. Sam, get your head in. Mike, head. Ball. Out.
Makinson then for St Helens. Going down the same left-wing channel that Barber exploited, but they were a lot closer than this when Barber scored. Zeb Teya now. 20 metres out. 2 tackles gone into the last minute. Roby, Wilkin, Walmsley away from McIlorum. Gets the ball away. It's flicked up off the ground by Teya to Wilkin. Wide then to Percival, slips the net once, twice, 3 times. Percival, and he's looking for someone to come and help. Has to take the tackle in the end. Didn't make much progress forward as it turned out. Wilkin, Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook carries the battle forward. 15 seconds and 3 tackles remaining. It's with Lomax. Short ball to Payru. Liam Farrell is there, so too Williams. This will be the last play of this first half as Roby from dummy half fires it to Wilkin. He then gives it wide to Barber. The half-time siren sounds and Wigan muscle up in defence against Ben Barber. Wonderful opening 6 minutes for Wigan. St Helens looked as though they were out of the contest as early as that, but they got back into it courtesy of the Barber try on 21. They had 2 from Gildart in those opening 6 minutes, both of them improved by Williams. Williams added a penalty goal, 14-0 after less than a quarter of an hour. Then Ben Barber with the try, 4 points for Saints, 14 for Wigan. Game on, and quite a contest ever since. This game isn't won yet, not by a long chalk, but Wigan lead at half-time, courtesy of the 2 Oliver Gildart tries. John and Brian with you after the break to review the first half. Brown misses him. Gelling over the top.
2000 AD, the Ultimate Collection. An epic series of special edition hardback books. Start your 2000 AD collection. Issue 1, just $1.99.
Live sport. You can watch it and you can get involved in it with the latest Coral action. Coral, jump in. Available from App Store and now Google Play. When the fun stops, stop.
Currys PC World, our summer mega deals are on. Save £180 on this thin and light Lenovo laptop with an Intel Core i3 processor and SSD storage, now just $399. These Lenovo Yoga 2-in-1 laptops feature an Intel Core i3 processor and a full HD display, only $499 after cashback. Or there's up to £200 cashback on Windows laptops over $479. At Currys PC World, we help you get it right.
All right, let's do this. This is how it's done.
That's a driver win, like saving on car insurance at Confused.com.
I can't believe I lost him. I really appreciate this.
Well, it's okay. Drop it off tomorrow.
Yeah, perfect.
There's a shimmer on the horizon, and the road is all I need. In the mirror, the sun is rising.
The Hyundai Tucson. Drive a different journey.
The lion spends more than 18 hours a day relaxing. And when their minds and bodies are fully recharged, it's time for action. Relax into greatness. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Hello, Grandpa.
Hello, most beautiful girl.
This is Buddy. Buddy? Buddy! Thank you, Grandpa.
You're welcome, Princess.
Stay connected with BT Infinity. Faster Wi-Fi around your home than major UK broadband providers. Be there, BT.
Keep your head out the clouds, they told you. And so, of course, you didn't. And you forgot the rules of gravity. You forgot the rules full stop. Forgot 5-year plans and leapt into your great unknown. And whatever you find out there, we're ready and waiting. Because we forgot to be ordinary long ago. We're First Direct Bank, and you're a long way from ordinary.
Live from Loftus Road, big names take to the field in aid of those affected by the Grenfell Tower fire. Game for Grenfell, Saturday at 2 on Sky 1.
Protect us.
Dad!
The man I married wasn't afraid of anything. Don't run. Not from this. Find them. Find them and kill them.
You mean that?
Yes.
This is the last. It's important to get that kick away.
Johnson!
The last 8 Wembley losers have won their next Super League match. Wigan are well placed to make it 9. They lead by 10 points at half-time at the Totally Wicked Stadium. A flying start from the Wigan Warriors sent St Helens back on their heels. And it is the visitors now in pole position. There are 2 other matches tonight in the Super 8s. Jake Webster opened the scoring for Castleford against Huddersfield, but tries through Oliver Roberts and Paul Clough, and a Jordan Rankin penalty. He's taken over the kicking duties from Danny Brough, has given Huddersfield a 12-6 lead. And at the AJ Bell Stadium, Craig Kopchak opened up the scoring. Jacob Miller with a couple of tries, Joe Arundel and 2 Liam Finn penalties have given Wakefield a 22-12 lead. Wakefield currently holding on to that 4th spot, and chased hard by St Helens and Wigan. Well, Justin Holbrook tasted success in his first Saints-Wigan derby, and he's going to have to muster something special from his side, because they do trail by 10 points, and they are up against a fired-up Wigan Warriors. Sean Wayne said during the week, St Helens will see the best of us after Wembley. He would say in large parts of that first 40 minutes they have seen the best of Wigan. And John Wells certainly in the opening 15 minutes of that game. The Wigan Warriors exploded into the match and St Helens were left reeling.
You get the feeling, Brian, that they've been thinking about the opening 5 or 10 minutes of this game since early hours of Sunday morning following that Challenge Cup defeat. Just want to show you something that we picked up pre-game. I was talking about George Williams, the amount of pressure that's on his shoulders. I think some minor adjustments, some minor tweaks here. I talked about how many times he actually abandoned plays midway through, particularly to the left on that Challenge Cup final. I think Tompkins, he moves later, but he's also really shallow. He's right in George Williams' eye line there. It's an easier pass. That's textbook stuff. That's what you become accustomed to seeing, and then Burgess back on the inside to Gildat. It was a brilliant start from them, made better from
3 minutes later.
Well, is it A, a suspect pass, or B, a suspect line from Ryan Morgan? I talked about Ben Barber. A lot of the focus was on Ben Barber pre-game. I said he was a runner and a passer second. It's not the best. I'm not sure whether Morgan's line is a little shallow there, but there's no questioning the pace. He pins his ears back, does Gildat, and that is an impressive start to a game in a Wigan Saints derby.
Those first 2 tries converted by George Williams. He tagged on a 13-minute penalty to give the visitors a 14-0 lead. St Helens came back into the game, their revival sparked by their most experienced player on the field.
Yeah, all the talk about Ben Barber, about Johnny Lomax moving into the halves. It was the old stager, the veteran, the man who knows more than anybody else about what's going on the field and the ability to react from it as well. This was a real spark, or acted as a real spark for St Helens in that fight back. And it culminated in the first try for them, following a good kick and a great chase from Ryan Morgan. Very little that Joe Burgess could have done there. And direct from the scrum.
You're happy it was a try?
Getting the ball wide. Well, unlike the Challenge Cup decision that went up as a no try, that was crucial in the deciding of this as well. Yes, there's an arm in from Gelling. The question is, was it stolen? Well, if it goes up as a no try, as it did with Club in the Challenge Cup final, you're going to find it hard to overturn that. Goes up as a try, you're going to find it hard to overturn it the other way as well. I'm happy with how it stands.
It was given. Percival unsuccessful with the attempted conversion. 14-4 to the Wigan Warriors. It could have been 14-10 had Regan Grace passed inside, but you want to give credit to Sam Tompkins for a brilliant defensive play.
Play of the half, without a shadow of a doubt. That this could have been,
because of the context of the game.
Yeah, this could have all of a sudden given Saints another lift. Look where he starts. This is where Saints are going to attack. Regan Grace ends up in this corner. Look at the ground he covers off the ball. We're actually going to flip the camera at the point at which Percival catches this ball from Zeb Taylor. And it's just at the point at which Sam Tompkins enters your screen at full lick. Now, he breaks stride there. He breaks stride because of what Regan Grace does. Regan Grace feints inside and feints out. When you've broken your stride after covering at such a distance, at such a speed, it is extremely difficult to get those feet back underneath you and go again. And that's exactly what he does. And you think at that point there, with Tompkins' stride broken, this is now impossible. He nearly falls into Regan Grace, to be fair.
If Regan Grace had his time again, Johnny Lomax inside with his hand up.
Listen, I'm going to take this back. Just look at this. Take it back for you here. Look at Sam Tompkins. It's the arm placement as well. You can talk all day about the line back on the inside. At the end of the day, Regan Grace is an inexperienced player. That's not an easy pass. That is not an easy pass. And you would back yourself as a winger. Look at Sam Tompkins' arm. Connect with the elbow, pull it down. It's the ball carrying arm. It is brilliant and has kept Wigan with a nice cushion going into half time.
I would have backed myself, I wouldn't have backed you. Listen, there was an incident. Justin Holbrook and the St Helens coaching team are in the box beside us here at the Totally Wigan Stadium. He went off on one after this incident involving Willie Isa and Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. He was incandescent with rage, could not believe it didn't even merit a penalty. It was put on report by the referee. But when you consider Gareth Ellis sin bin last night for dangerous play, I mean, that for me falls into that bracket.
I just listening to the referee's conflab with the touch, they were unsure about the point of contact on that. But you have to say from a naked look at that, it does look like dangerous contact. It got on report. That's the decision for now. We respect the referee's on-field decision.
Willie Isa stays on the field, and no doubt he will be playing a huge part in the second half. A second half that St Helens must drag themselves back into. But Wigan Warriors, well, they've shaken off any Wembley woes. They have been sensational for large parts of this match so far. But a second 40 minutes ahead of them, 4th spot the target.
What a comeback! And what a beautiful kick!
Time to go, Sergey.
Wow! I'm Spider-Man! Take that, vulture!
Get 2 for 1 tickets to see Marvel Studios Spider-Man Homecoming with Meerkat Movies. Only when you buy circumpressmarket.com.
Live sport. You can watch it and you can get involved in it with the latest Coral action. Coral, jump in. Available from App Store and now Google Play. When the fun stops, stop.
On several occasions, we nearly lost her. She reacted badly to the chemo. We were in hospital for a long time. And now she's absolutely fantastic. She's starting secondary school. She's absolutely amazing. And without the kind generosity of the people leaving gifts, we wouldn't have her here with us today.
Your home and car insurance all under one roof. One policy, one renewal date.
And a guaranteed lower price.
Multi-cover for guaranteed discounts.
Alliance spends more than 18 hours a day relaxing. And when their minds and bodies are fully recharged, it's time for action. Relax into greatness. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Set it down. We are still in trouble. Still in shambles. Here we are.
The new Citroën C3 with 36 colour combinations, as unique as you are. And for a limited period, you can enjoy 3 years free servicing on all new C3s.
Citroën.
Say this is your monthly data allowance. Here's all those Facebook updates, an episode of Game of Thrones. Now, most mobile networks come the end of the month, take back whatever you haven't used. But Sky Mobile is different. They let you roll all your unused data for you to use next month, next year, or even later. So, say hello to rolling your data for 3 years. Only with Sky Mobile. Sky. Believe in better.
Here we go then. The Heineken Italian Grand Prix. Tomorrow, live on Sky Sports F1.
Dad, we really got to talk about the crime.
Showing emotion is part of being a sexy modern man.
I thought people loved the police in Canada.
Afraid of a little crime, Chief? Dad!
Second, third effort, fourth effort.
That's desire. That run is all about desire.
Super League Friday, and they don't come much bigger than this. St Helens 4, Wigan Warriors 14 as the players emerge for the start of this second half. Well, Angela Powers is in close proximity to Wigan coach Sean Wayne to see what was said at half-time, and we will hear from her with a report on that very shortly. Wigan, of course, have graced the last 4 grand finals. Defeat tonight would be a hammer blow to their hopes in 2017. 2 previous Super 8 meetings between these two, won by the home side, by the way. Saints in 2015, 18-14. Last year they lost 25-0 at Wigan. St Helens, though, with work to do in this second 40. trailing as they are, and it's they who kick off, attacking from right to left. What would they give for a start like Wigan had to the first half?
Well, they'll need a big start with some big defence as well, because the opening 5 minutes, conceding those 2 tries, wasn't good enough for the coach, Justin Hall. But considering they'd had 2 weeks off, you look in his second half now, and the question will be asked, will the fatigue hit Wigan now, who played in that cup final last week? And Sean Wayne looked very calm at half-time. I think he was very pleased with what he saw from his troops in the opening 40 minutes.
Well, he said before the match, it's been a tough old week. He said, but what else would you expect after losing at Wembley?
Always going to be a reaction. Always going to be action. He said you couldn't have picked a better fixture than to play you in a derby game.
No, that's exactly what he said.
I didn't read it, Eddie.
12-all at Huddersfield Castleford. Started the second half, and look at that. Salford, well, it looks like their race is run in 2017. Wakefield 36-12, and Wakefield next up will have the Saints at their own ground next Thursday at 7:30 on Sky Sports Arena. And you know, if St Helens lose this, Wakefield could, with a victory, push Saints out of the playoffs, and that isn't half bad either. A repeat of last week's cup final at the KCOM Stadium, Hull against Wigan. This time next week will be just after half-time in that. So big stuff coming up. Great race developing. Maybe Salford about to fall out of it, but we'll see.
And a penalty here. Talima Tautai upending Luke Douglas, putting him in a dangerous position. See, he was trying to get low, he was trying to get underneath Sean O'Loughlin. Talima Tautai comes at the back, tugs his leg up.
So Saints in possession from the restart and the penalty. This is Alex Walmsley. Roby, 30 metres out. Smith to McCarthy Scarsbrook. Seems none the worse for the experience of that tackle by Willie Isa that's on report in the first half. Smith to Lomax. Lomax got the short ball away. Zeptea cannot extricate himself from those two. 10 metres out, Roby. Smith finds LNS again. Strong run on tackle 4 from Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Roby scampering into dummy half once again. Here is big Alex Walmsley.
Oh, good effort from Willie Isa.
Great tackle, Isa. Right on the line. Roby fires it back. Douglas gives it then to Teya. He finds Lomax. Wigan's defence is marshalled. Has to be the kick wide. Looking for Makinson, finding Makinson. It goes back off Peyru. Picked up by Barber. Barber slips the pass back to Makinson. Makinson dabs it through. Was he taken out on the chase? No, he wasn't. Tompkins picks it up.
Remarkable defence there as Wigan looked to attack from deep. But how Willie Isa prevented big Alex Walmsley from getting the ball in? Oh, heaven knows.
Knock on here. Luke Douglas was asking the referee, imploring the referee to give the decision for the knock-on.
Well, it was the shot from Douglas as Liam Marshall uses footwork, comes back into the field of play, tries to beat Douglas. Look at this. Wow. Big Alex Walmsley, you said it before, Eddie, he's made more meters, made more carries than anyone else in Super League. He bulldozed his defences, but he couldn't get rid of that man. Scored a try, the opening try to second half for Saints.
Yeah, remarkable statistics really for Alex Walmsley, considering that this is the 12th time this year he's come off the bench. When he comes on, he makes some impact.
Eddie, you'll see him sometimes, he'll make 2 carries every set of 6.
Well, let's see what comes of this scrum feed to the Saints. This is Percival, right-hand side of the field. Williams gets off him eventually. This now Roby. Here is Walmsley again, taking it forward. Turned on his back by 3 defenders. Roby finds Matty Smith. He finds Ben Barber again. Barber attacking the line. Ben Barber so close to a second try in his debut. Percival. Teya again. Decides to try and ride the tackle rather than slip the pass. 4 gone. St Helens are 8 metres away. Roby to Matty Smith. Smith then finds Wilkin. Wilkin releases the ball in the tackle. Still 4, says the referee. Lomax stabs it through, hits the deck, but he wasn't taken out, says the referee. The referee nearly was by that tackle then.
Well, the defenders don't have to move out of the way. If they change the line and step into the man who's kicking the ball, Lomas. That would have been a penalty.
Well, there's an interesting stat about the Saints in that they've scored the least tries of all the teams in the top 8. So maybe their attack isn't good enough to get them into that top 4 position. They were hoping with Ben Barber's arrival that will improve. They'll need to find a way, obviously, to get over the try line a few more times if they've got any hope of winning this game. But at present, it's been side to side and they've lacked any real cutting edge.
Tautai releases the pass. It was a ferocious challenge. It bounced nicely for Tompkins. He flicked the pass to O'Loughlin. He is a workhorse, a willing workhorse for his team, is Sean O'Loughlin. Luluai goes for a 40-20, skims off the turf, picked up by Barber. OK, we saw Angela Powers talking to Sean Wayne. What did he and Justin Holbrook say?
Well, Justin Holbrook first. He said that the Wigan team came out a little bit too fast out of the blocks for them at the start. He did explain, though, after a week off, sometimes it can be a little bit slow in getting up to speed, but he was more happy as the half went on. They had some good chances and just weren't able to convert them, but he's expecting, he said, a very big second half from his Saints team. Sean Wayne, he was quite animated at half-time. He was happy with their defence. They handled their spreads well, he said, within the whole opening 25 minutes, but then they just went off the ball or went off plan. We need to get back to the script.
Oh, Johnny Lomax has just put the pass down. It was a difficult pass, to be fair.
It was a good run from Dominic Peru, wasn't it? Cut Wigan up. Looks like he's struggling, he's tucking up. Look at that. Steps off his right foot. Looking for support from Lomax, who couldn't take that ball in. Wigan scrambling. Again, look at the acceleration, trying to get a nice gentle pass to his teammate. Lomax just couldn't catch that ball.
Don't go forward from there, he's here. Come on, boys.
Well, Justin Holbrook took charge at the Magic weekend. You might remember in Newcastle, it was a team he took over that had shipped in 93 points in losing the previous 2. They went on that day and beat Hull 45-0. He followed it up with a win against Wigan 22-19 here in his first home game in charge. Wigan, though, ahead here after 6.5 minutes of the second half in the Super 8s by 14 points to 4 as Gelling takes the ball forward again. This is Williams. Gets it away to Tompkins. Further wide they go to Oliver Gildart. Hounded down by Peru. Burgess to Tompkins. O'Loughlin. A little bit behind Bateman. Hit the ground. Bateman had to retreat and pick it up, then lost his footing. It allowed Lomax to come in with the challenge. Powell to Gelling. Wigan just slightly labouring in attack here. Down he goes, last tackle, 20 metres or so away from the Saints line. Powell and Williams. High kick to the corner. Ball comes back, and then what happens here? No, St Helens have it back. No, they've had a word with the touch judge. Sean Wayne saw that from up here, and Wigan have head and feet.
Back off Tompkins, then it's not Tom. Thanks, please, Mark.
Well,
Tompkins off Sam Tompkins, he said.
Yeah, he jumps up, he's trying to tap the ball back to one of his teammates.
Just come back in with it, Mark, if I don't respond. It's all right, don't worry.
Anthony Gelling surrounded by players. He loses the ball. Was there a hand in from Saints? Well, the referee missed it. It goes to the next play. The ball's tapped back from Sam Tompkins. John Wilkin, well, he obviously lost the ball in.
On the ground he was.
On the ground,
on the ground. I think the initial knockback was all right.
Heads in, heads.
Castleford have hit the front against Huddersfield, the league leaders.
You've got to bind, you two. No, you bind with him, don't worry about that.
Safe and sound, of course, with a home semi-final already, because they are League Leaders Shield winners. Looks like Leeds will have the other home semi-final. Who will they be playing, those two? Hull, Wakefield, Saints, Wigan, Huddersfield, Salford. All up for grabs over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Wigan here taking a mighty stride. If they can hang on to this, if they can add to this scoreline. Tautai. Trying to struggle, get his arms free, keeps the legs moving at the same time. Wormsley all over him. This was Powell now. Gives it to Williams. Short ball then from him to Liam Farrell, nearly through. Matty Smith held on to his ankles. Here is Tompkins at dummy half, finds Williams. Gives it then to Willie Isa. Good solid defence on the goal line from the Saints. Wormsley again heavily involved. Powell. Williams Back it goes to Lulawai. Here's a Lachlan short ball. Tompkins. Gelling is in. Anthony Gelling, get in, says Sean Wayne. And it could be a crucial blow to St Helens' hopes of making the top 4. Anthony Gelling, his 50th try for the Wigan Warriors. A hat-trick in the 25-0 home win against Saints in Super 8s last year. This try could be just as important as that. It increases the Wigan lead.
Well, Anthony Gelling scores the try, but Anthony Gelling loses possession here. The referee doesn't see it. They go up to the left-hand side. Sam Tompkins knocks the ball back, and then John Wilkins judged to have knocked this ball on. The scrum, head and feed to Wigan. More possession, 10 metres from the line. And have a look at the play from Sean O'Loughlin. When he needs to go straight, he needs to go direct, he sucks players in. When it's the correct time to release the ball, he tips that ball onto Sam Tompkins, who then in turn comes up with a nice little pass once the winger's beaten.
He's had a huge influence in this match, Sean O'Loughlin. We've seen him run, we've seen him cart the ball up, we've seen him kick it, but that pass and the way that he takes it into the teeth of defence as his coach punch in the air in delight.
Yeah, he wears his heart on his sleeve, all right. Williams can't add the extras from tight to the touchline, but it's 18-4. Might be a priceless lead. 14 points.
I don't think
3
we appreciate
responses needed from the Saints.
The skill here of George Williams, Thomas Lulawai and Sean O'Loughlin in being able to run straight and pass the ball accurately backwards to a player who's a moving target. They made it look very simple though. It's obviously more complicated than what it is. Otherwise, every other side would do it.
One of the aspects of the game for Wigan is the amount of times they go into contact, they keep their feet and they keep stood up. While ever an attacker is stood up and not put to ground, it doesn't allow the defenders to get back into the line. And then there's a late retreater and a bit of disruption on the defensive line.
Well, they might have been at Wembley last week, but they still have not given up hope of making it to a 5th grand final in a row, Wigan. And they're playing as such here tonight against a team, remember, that's had its feet up for a fortnight. Wigan haven't had a break this year. The World Club Championship, of course, which they won. And then Wembley, which they lost in the big cup run. Here goes Burgess. Oh, he skinned him down the line. He has got some support from Williams. Here is Williams. Wigan in again. Wigan in again, and the coach on his feet. And George Williams. Quicksilver attack from one end of the field to the other. 2 in 2 minutes for the Wigan Warriors. Ben Barber's Super League debut is going west. And Wigan taking a stranglehold on this match now. And a place maybe in the top 4 come the end of the 30 rounds.
Well, one word comes to mind when I watch this try, and it's strike. They go from pass to run into space, and the execution is nigh on perfect. At this point, Willie Isa skips across, he finds a pass, beautiful delivery there from Oliver Gildart, and that's just pace, strike, an absolute ruthless streak.
That's just keeping your nerve from Burgess. When Willie Isa offloads this ball, the lovely pass from Gildart, look at that, he gives the pass again, it just sucks in the winger, and this pass is to perfection. He draws in the fullback Barber, and then George Williams gets low, knowing that he's under pressure. His body angle is too good to be tackled. Big couple of minutes for Wigan.
They might have been disappointed last week at Wembley. Losing at Wembley for the first time since 1998. Losing for the first time in a cup final since 2004. But they have their sights set on Old Trafford. And Williams adds the extras. Saints 4, Wigan 24. Still a quarter of the game and more to go.
Well, you always say, Eddie, you can never write off the Saints, but here with a 20-point margin, with less than 30 minutes to go, it seems impossible. I don't know whether the Saints have got enough tries. Barry used the word strike. I don't think St Helens have got the strike power here to come back from this, but we will get to see what sort of spirit they've got. It seems to me as though losing at Wembley seems to be a great motivating factor. Is it 9 years now? It looks as if Wigan win this game. For the last 9 years, the team that have lost at Wembley have bounced back and won the following week. And when you look at what Warrington did last season, after they lost at Wembley, they won 3 of the remaining 4 Arguably, it should have been all 4. They lost that one narrowly. But it just seems to be that losing at Wembley doesn't mean your year is over.
No, the beaten side at Wembley has been bouncing back, has shown its bounce-back ability in the recent past. There's no doubt about that, and Wigan doing exactly that this evening. When you consider that only Wakefield and Hull have won on this ground this year. Tautai, though, with a loose carry.
Well, it'll certainly help.
A loose carry. Wilkins' arms were all over it.
Well, it'll help Saints, won't it? Wigan made the mistake in their own half, 40 metres from the line. What strike have they got now? And they've got enough players to cause problems. Every time they went to the left-hand side in the first half, they looked really good. Justin Holbrook knows that he's got the players, he's got the game plan to go out there and beat Wigan, but he's got to come up with the players, he's got to execute those players at the correct time.
Saints have finished as low as 5th only twice. 2004, 2013. Wigan outside the top 4 on 4 occasions in a 5-season spell. 05 to 09. Castleford, the league leaders, showing their class against Huddersfield. 24-12 they lead. Zeptea picks it up for the Saints. A bit of a loose pass for them. They need a spark from somewhere. Where will it come from?
Well, they've got enough players, the likes of Matty Smith, Johnny Lomax, Ben Barber. They've got the forwards to go forward. Everyone's got to be an option. Reload, offer yourself in attack.
Williams cuts down Barber. Here comes Wilkin. Wigan don't look in the mood to let this go just yet. Saints have reached the last tackle, the 20 metres out. Here is Matty Smith, who will hoist the high kick. Marshall's underneath this. Marshall jumped from the field of play, is bundled over the goal line into the in-goal area, so it is a goal line dropout.
And it's about building pressure. So when they kick to that man in the first half, he's the go-to man. He gets up high, he waits, he times his for that tackle. As soon as Marshall hits the deck, he holds him up, he pushes him over the line. Another set of 6 here now that Wigan need to defend.
They could do with a try, St Helens, if they're going to get into this match in any shape or form.
Not in any hurry, Sam Tompkins. Just restart this game.
55 minutes exactly on the watch as Tompkins' goal line dropout a bit scruffily gets over the 40. Thompson will run it back for St Helens. Douglas now.
Surrender! Stand! Hold! Hold!
Matty Smith. Lomax to Barber. Does Justin Holbrook have to say to Ben Barber now, just get going, forget your fullback duties, just get us going in attack?
Well, to everybody, there's going to be a lot of focus on where Barber's stood, but that means that there's more emphasis on other players around him.
Roby stabs the kick towards the in-goal area. Was Barber taken out?
Well, Thomas Luluai, did he check his run then? The referee says no, he's quite happy with the dropout.
A magical piece of play from Roby there. Still a little bit of discussion going on by 1 or 2 players. Roby puts it in the in-goal area. There's a collision, but ultimately Saints don't wait for the whistle and they force the goal line drop in.
But does Luluai change his direction here?
I think he just turns around going towards the direction of the ball. You know, he's entitled to stand there.
Entitled to lift his leg as high as he did as well.
Well, I think the leg went up as part of the impact of Barber running into him, I think.
Talking of legs, Anthony Gelling is wandering around on one leg at the moment.
I don't know whether he caught a dead leg. It looked like whilst the Saints players were getting stuck into him, trying to get him over that try line, one of them might have caught him. More good field position for Saints. You're right, Eddie. Saints need to score. They need to get themselves mentally back into this game.
Thompson gets them to just shy of the 20, plays the ball to Roby. Smith back on the angle. Lomax. Good tackle by Williams. Now Matty Smith. Thompson again. Douglas again. Turned, he thought, out of trouble from Isa straight into Bateman. Roby. Here is Lomax. Zeptea, it's opened up for Zeptea! I think Zeptea scored. covered. Hicks does as well. Is this the time for a St Helens comeback? With a long way to go. Zebtea gets his 5th try of the season on his 100th Super League appearance.
Well, this is exactly what they needed. Needed to be a brave line as well, because he was confronted by Frank-Paul Nuasala. He starts on the outside, he comes back, Frank-Paul Nuasala, he's moving, he's jogging laterally, and because he sees that run, that angle in defence, Zebtea's got some very good lines and scores an important try for Saints.
And there's a good emphasis of the point that Terry O'Connor was making. Whilst everybody's concerned with Ben Barber out the back, the short option, the hard line from Zebtea, he profits from a nice delicate pass, perfectly weighted, and good intent on the run.
The St Helens need every point they can get here, and it was interesting the referee didn't award an potential 8-point try here, because I think there's an argument to say, well, let's take a look after this kick. There's 6 points, but should St Helens have had a penalty here? In fact, maybe the referee's going to do it here now. He's going to have a word with one of the players, but just look at the feet here. Is it Tom Luluwai who comes in?
Yeah, he comes in with his feet.
Well, that's not. That was the earlier incident, wasn't it? Yeah. It's where the feet go in here on this try-scoring situation, and that's not the. We'll take a look in a minute, but I thought really there that the.
He went in with his feet at the ball, you know, feet first, and you can't do that. We've seen cases where players have put their foot on the ground as they're putting the ball down, but he actually went in with his feet. There's certainly a case of a possible 8-point try there.
Well, Zebtea's try is worth 6 points, as it turns out. This, I think, is what you're talking about, gentlemen. Tea coming in and coming down, and yeah, the foot went in from Luluwai, definitely. Lucky there to escape a penalty after the conversion. So, 10-24 to Wigan, 14 points. Still a lot of work to do by St Helens.
They could do with a couple of penalties to get that field position. Another strong carry here from Thompson.
The interesting thing is Sean O'Loughlin off the field. Almost simultaneously as he left the field, Tea over for the St Helens try. It just emphasises how important the Wigan skipper is to the side.
I think he's been immense tonight, and he's led from the front, and he's done the tough stuff when he's had to do it, but it takes a captain to step forward, set the example, do the untidy stuff sometimes.
It's a flop
by Jack Wells. Jack Wells missed the last 5, replacing Ryan Sutton, who's got a touch of food poisoning. No doubt the flop was a bit late.
Well, he wants to get into the action, doesn't he?
Well, he does. I don't think Sean Wayne wants him to get into the action like that.
Well, I did say that they could do with a couple of penalties to get that field position. Challenge Wigan near their own line.
Douglas goes down. First tackle. Smith to Knowles. It's the pass away to Wilkin.
Using a lot of short passes, Saints, at the minute. Short passes at the line.
Crucial stage of the match, this, because remember, Wigan at Wembley on Saturday, and the fatigue factor might just come in to consideration as Barber flicks the pass back to Zebtea. He steps away from one challenge. That was Jack Wells' attempt. There are 3 more there. As he plays the ball. Loose pass. Picked up well, though, by Dominic Peru. And he is halted by Willie Isa. Roby tries to slide the kick in. That was played. That's going to be 6 to go here for Saints. Morgan Knowles drops on it gratefully.
Yeah, Liam Farrell put his leg out, made a play for that ball. Another 6 tackles there, 20 metres from the line now.
Thompson, lots of defence needed by Wigan. Yeah, definite play at the ball by Liam Farrell. Offers St Helens the opportunity with Zebtea. Gets the ball away to Barber. He in turn finds Mark Percival. Percival straightens it up. He nearly got through. Important tackle again by Willie Isa. Roby, 5 metres out, fires the ball to Smith. Smith then to Lomax. Lomax to Peru. Peru gets it wide. Makinson over in the corner for St Helens. Wigan hit Saints with 2 tries in 2 minutes earlier on. It's now 2 in 4 for St Helens. Makinson with the try in inching towards a career 100 now.
What a last quarter we've got here now. That's a tremendous pass over the top from Peru. All come from the work of the hooker James Roby. Liam Farrell sticks his foot out. 6 to go. Players running into space with purpose, with zest. And Wigan defenders, some in, some out. Uncertain and anxious now in this last quarter.
That's a quality pass this now. Look at that from Peru. Sucks in Burgess. Has the ability to offload that ball. Well, and Justin Holbrook, he knows his side are back in this game.
It's a massive 18 minutes or so for St Helens and for Wigan.
And he has said before that if you get a couple of penalties, you get the energy, you get the momentum, you're attacking the opposition's try line.
This has been his good side this season, Eddie. He's been awesome, wide on the right, struggled on the left. But if ever the Saints team need a boost here, they need it right now with these 2 points.
And Percival has added the extras. Great kick once again from Mark Percival. Well, it really is game on now.
Well, I suppose they had to take some chances, keep the ball alive. You know, we often see in rugby league teams at the most dangerous and the best to watch when they're under pressure, behind on the scoreboard. They take more risks, and they've come up with the points here. They need even more now on the back of this. In the first half, Wigan had the majority of possession, and it helped to show them lead the game. Now we've seen some penalties. We've seen the back to one there with the Liam Farrell charge down. And if St Helens can keep this possession, they've got every chance maybe of coming up with some more.
Well, we talked about Sean O'Loughlin, his involvement for his side. Now, I know James Roby isn't the captain, but he's the emotional leader. The quality of his passes from dummy half, the work rate he has in defence, and the decisions he makes at key points and at key stages of games is impeccable.
St Helens fans just finding their voice, and is their team finding a way to win this, the latest derby against Wigan. Such an important night for these two sides. Don't forget, tomorrow we're in the qualifiers and we have London Broncos against Wellington Wolves. It's a late kick-off, 8 o'clock, with just before the kick-off on Sky Sports Arena, 7:55.
A strong carry from Tommy Makinson. The edge players coming in, getting involved, trying to speed that game up for this man, James Roby.
And Luke Thompson taking over, taking Saints to half-time. Wakefield are winning now in a canter at Salford, 42-18. Trinity lead, so they will stay fourth in the table, despite what happens here. Barber, it's opened up from his round Lulawai. Oh, kick for the corner's too long.
Was not the easier play to give that ball to Zeb Taylor. Zeb Taylor throwing his arms out. Oh, he's disappointed. Have a little look when he goes through. He gets Sam Tompkins interested. Could have been a one-on-one with Zeb Taylor. And I think it was Anthony Gelling. He chooses to kick the ball.
And he knew the moment it left his foot.
Yeah, it was the wrong play,
There were enough Wigan defenders just to put that doubt in the mind. He knows that either he should have took the risk with the pass or maybe put less weight on that kick. But let's credit the Wigan defence. Commitment again. You wouldn't believe that this side, less than 7 days ago, were involved in a huge match. Sean O'Loughlin now back on for the Warriors.
No surprise about that. Sean Wayne probably said to him, listen, we need you, get out there again, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Well, he just keeps them solid, doesn't he?
Williams, a little shimmy of the shoulder, but couldn't fool Luke Douglas. They've reached tackle number 5. Tompkins dabs the ball through. It was played at, and they've got 6 to go here. Tompkins was the first to react. This set starts 10 metres out. Willie Isa, halted by Morgan Knowles. 5 metres out they are now. Powell to O'Loughlin, to Williams. Was that knocked down by St Helens? It was just a poor pass. It's just a poor pass.
I think it comes off Liam Farrell.
Makinson for St Helens.
There's some belief now in the Saints camp, isn't there? Yeah, it comes off Liam Farrell as he goes through as a lead runner.
Yeah, he was a dummy runner, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You cast your mind back to earlier this season when St Helens played Wigan on this ground. It was 2 late tries by Mark Percival that pulled off that historic win and memorable victory for them here. Now they're hoping to try and do it again. They've got that in the memory bank. Do they have it here now? It's Kyler Moore charging forward. They're making good meters this half.
Oh, he went for the penalty then. He went for the dying swan with Kyle Amor. Ball goes high off the boot of Matty Smith. Lomax is after it. Tompkins, though, is underneath it. Oh, he fired the pass to Burgess, who just held on.
They trust one another, those two. The amount of times they link up, your heart's in your mouth sometimes, but those two players, and I think even Sam Tompkins just throws his hand up and said, that's probably a little bit too far out in front of you. But great work from the big men from St Helens. Good ground mate. And they made that point in the first half. That's when Saints are at the best, when they're making good meters and the momentum is with them at the play of the ball.
Gelling to his feet. 4 tackles gone. Here is O'Loughlin just trying to add a little bit of calm to the storm. Gets them to halfway on tackle number 5. Tompkins, expect the kick. There it is, all along the deck. He's put under pressure and into the arms here of Regan Grace.
He looks powerful, doesn't he? He accelerates into contact, tries to get the defenders so they mistime that tackle, and a good strong run from Percival, his centre partner.
Saints supporters getting behind their team as Makinson takes it forward again. 3 gone, they're in Wigan's half. Amor, Smith, Lomax, Peyru slipped at the vital moment, took a big divot out of the field as well. Barber, Smith, Thompson. Ooh, what a collision with club that was. You can hear that from up here.
Well, he knows that he's one of the big go-forward men, Thompson. He's got to stop him.
Matty Smith measures the kick. Percival's after it. What a take. What a great take from Liam Marshall that was.
Well, you've got to be brave, haven't you? In games like this, when everything's on the line, you're looking to jump the table, get into the top 4, or still put the pressure on Wakefield, who will finish in the top 4 this evening. You've got to come up with players like that. Under pressure from Percival, under pressure from Taylor. I'll do Marshall's confidence the world of good.
Well, Wakefield will certainly stay 4th in the table. They'll be on 30 points, 1 behind Hull. Saints at the moment 27. Wigan, if it stays like this, on 29. Wakefield Saints next Thursday is massive for both of those clubs. 7:30 Sky Sports Arena next Thursday. Hull Wigan is the match on the Friday, which will have an awful lot riding on it as well. A Challenge Cup final repeat 2 weeks after Wembley, but with Old Trafford the prize at stake, really. Tompkins' kick for touch is fielded brilliantly by Makinson.
Well, they're playing everything, aren't they now? Saints and the back 3 have certainly stepped up for Saints.
This is Taya. Zeb Taya gets them to halfway again. You have to say, Wigan's fitness is something to behold. Here goes Percival inside. Oh, possibility of an obstruction, but fortunately for St Helens, Percival stood still. Castleford, the league leaders, 8 points to the good at Huddersfield. Huddersfield may be falling out of the race. Salford falling out of the race. Might be 6 into 4. Thompson to his feet. Smith, Wilkin, Payne forward from Wilkin.
We're looking to run it on the last play. You can go back to the previous play before this mistake. The forward pass from John Wilkin as he looks to give the ball to Peyru. The shot from Sean O'Loughlin. Again, we're talking about him, but he just knows how to slow the play down. When they've got the ball, he looks to up the ante, but also when he's defending, he knows that he can buy a bit of time. Look at this now. I said before, Luke Thompson, he's a big, powerful man. He's hard to dominate, but Sean O'Loughlin did that on that occasion and certainly helped his left edge defenders.
Well, O'Loughlin left the scene and Saints grabbed 2 tries. O'Loughlin has come back and he's certainly tightened things up.
Every set of 6 that since he's come back onto the field, he's touched the ball. He's slowing the game down, he's speeding the game up. Everyone around him's reacting to what he's doing.
Williams and O'Loughlin again. He's touched it once more this set. Here is Tompkins. And via Gelling it went to Liam Marshall. Last tackle coming up here then. That wasn't played at by Regan Grace. Be head and feet to the Saints.
And again with an 8-point lead, and there's Sean Wayne. He knows that he's got faith in his senior players, Sam Tompkins. How many times has he stepped up now in this game, on the final plays in the set to 6, trying to knock the ball off the field? He's down. He's just, again, slowing the game down. Sam Tompkins, he's been very good, hasn't he? Supplying the pass to Burgess, taking control at the back, coming up with a brilliant defence like that. Out the back, the speed he's got, his ability to beat defenders. He doesn't panic at all, and again, soft little hands. A lot of teams have got eyes for Sam Tompkins because of how good he is, and this game he certainly looks back to his best.
Yes, it's taken him a while to get back into the swing of things. He's scored 4 tries in his last 8 games as well. But he is certainly getting close to the top of his game. Inside the last 10 minutes, it's 8 points the difference. Regan Grace for St Helens. And Castleford have beaten Huddersfield, so the lead is intact. 10 points at the top of the table and full time at Wakefield. They will stay 4th on 30 points, 1 behind Hull FC, 6 away from Leeds. And will it be Saints or Wigan who'll be breathing down their necks in 5th? At the moment, Wigan. But Saints in possession here. And this is Percival, who had the key to victory in the earlier fixture here. Justin Holbrook's first home game in charge, you may remember. Regan Grace disappears under that challenge. He'll get to his feet on tackle number 5, plays it to Roby. Smith hoists a high kick, it's a bit deep. Burgess
too easy.
Safely underneath that.
Too easy to handle for Joe Burgess. You feel that the momentum swing has gone back towards Wigan now. They've absorbed all the pressure that Saints have flung and thrown at them. Even though they've got a bit of work to do here, and they're trying to gain some territory and some metres upfield, they look like they're in control and prepared to do some tough stuff.
It was that penalty goal decision that they took, was it about 15 minutes or so into the match, Eddie? That's now proved to be the significant thing, isn't it? It isn't a 6-point lead, it's an 8-point lead. And that, I think, mentally does more damage to the Saints than anything else. They know they're not quite back with it.
Willie Isa gets Wigan 10 metres inside Saints territory. 2 tackles remaining this set. It's with Tompkins, who just went down then, he lost his footing, so tackle number 5 is called. And Powell will drill the ball all along the ground and find touch just shy of the corner post this near side.
It's game management, there's no more attacking kicks for Wigan. It seems as though they've put the cue on the rat, they know exactly what they've got to do, they're letting the clock tick down, walk to the scrum, get some energy back into those legs. Sean Wayne, well, he's still animated. He knows how vital this last 7.5 minutes is going to be, but Justin Holbrook still knows and still believes that they can win this game.
Well, time is the enemy. What have we got, 7.5 minutes? It's certainly in St Helens' DNA to score 2 tries in that length of time. They have to score a 90-metre try here. Go from one end of the field to the other. What about that for a tackle from Williams on Lomax?
Good shot, straight underneath the ball, George Williams. And again, working hard from Marker, along with Sean O'Loughlin and Liam Farrell.
The commitment in defence has been outstanding. Trying to get up and hustle and hurry Saints into those quick decisions whilst passing the ball. And Saints have to do this, they have to try and force an offload, try and break the line, but it's dogged defence from the Warriors.
Walmsley gives it to Waymore. Big hit by O'Loughlin. Knock on.
There you go.
Walmsley on the floor.
Sean O'Loughlin again has led from the front. I know there's been some good touches from players like Sam Tompkins, but for me, that man has led from the front. That is a big man that he's hitting. Bone on bone, body on body, and that offload, that forced offload, ends up in a mistake.
Do you know when you're defending out wide and you think that when Alex Walmsley gets the ball, he normally never tips the ball on. So you think, yeah, Liam Farrell's got him, Willie Ice has got him. He doesn't switch off O'Loughlin. all of a sudden he's called into action to come up with a tackle on Kyle Amor, another good front rower who's got very good footwork at the line, hits him with everything.
And that's a tired man. Sean O'Loughlin, I think, probably emphasises how exhausted Wigan are, and Sean Wayne has had to do some voodoo magic this week and try and convince those players they're not stiff, they're not tired, and get them motivated to get this win.
And O'Loughlin really did run his blood to water at Wembley as well in the losing cause, didn't he?
Yeah.
Tony Clubb goes down 17-18 metres away from the Saints line. Luluwai, Wigan looking to close it down here.
Wigan looking to close it down. Alex Walmsley looking to knock Thomas Luluwai into next week.
You get a drop goal here somewhere.
Gelling isn't thinking about that. Gelling is inching towards the line.
There's nobody out the back, so...
Well, it wouldn't do them that much good with only an 8-point lead. I know what you're saying, Barry. It will just rock the clock down a bit. The wide here to Tompkins. Flicks it out the back to that man O'Loughlin. Into centre field to Luluwai. Something on here maybe for Wigan.
Turnover.
That's the turnover. Well, maybe they lost the count just then.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Thomas Luluwai, man of that man's experience and quality. On the last play, he wouldn't have come up with that. Drop the ball onto the boot, turn Saints around, again pressure them.
It's not the end of the road for St Helens, even if they lose here, but it will be a rocky road to the playoffs if they fail. Saints, 3 straight defeats if they lose this. Wigan, 3 successive Super League wins. If they win this, is the tide turning? Or does Mark Percival and company have something to say about it? Well, not for the time being, because there are 3 men there to bring him to the ground.
Well, again, that fixture between Wakefield next week, it's a huge game for Saints. If they go to Wakefield and beat them, they drag themselves back into the race. And look at that, speaking of dragging, good defence. Again, some commitment from both sides here.
Indeed so. It was good from Worms, it was good then from Grace to keep the ball in play, and that's why Smith has it. Now it's with Barber. Barber smuggles the ball back to Dominic Peyrou, but they're going nowhere forward. Maybe they can now. No, this great Wigan defence keeps them at bay. They're still inside their own half. Here they come now, though, with Wilkins. Slips the pass to Barber in support. Barber then drops the ball off to Makinson. Makinson finds Roby. Roby keeps it alive. It's still alive, and it's bounced off Liam Farrell back to Sam Tompkins and Justin Holbrook. Well, the despair is there for all to see with less than 4 minutes to go.
Great rugby, wasn't it? Both in attack and defence. They've kept the ball alive, shown a lot of skill, and yet enough Wigan jerseys around there just to prevent that try, and probably stuff out any real nerves that the Wigan fans might have here at the end.
Well, here we go.
We're on again.
I think it's Kyle Amor. There's a challenge that goes in on a Wigan player.
Well, Willie Isom and Lou McCarthy are in the middle of it again. They were the 2 players who came together in the first half. Kyle Amor and Sam Powell.
Amor and Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook are smiling, but Kyle Amor is anything but smiling.
Take your players.
Oh, the eyes have it, don't they?
Now he's smiling.
Take your players away. Take your players away.
I think this may well be a penalty to St Helens, you know, because Sam Tompkins was on the ground. It's fair game there. He gets up and he just pushes Kyle Amor, which starts all that off. The first offence is by Sam Tompkins.
I think I agree, Stuart, I do.
I think it's a penalty to St Helens.
Referee's called time off, less than 3 minutes to go. He's on the ground. There was a bit of an arm coming over as well from Amor.
It's on his back.
There's nothing wrong with that. He hits him in the side, doesn't it?
Go away, guys. Go away.
When he goes down, he beats Walmsley. He is free game. He hits his shoulder blade.
So if someone gave you a clout in the ribs like that, you'd be happy, would you?
No problem, as long as it's not you, Ed.
You won't feel it if Ed did.
No, you wouldn't. You took the words out of my mouth.
Okay, Clint, come here. Come here.
More like a stroke.
You'd feel it if I kicked you.
Kyle Amor on the floor, swinging arm. That's the first offence. Willie Isom coming in. We'll speak to them both and get on with it. Kyle.
Sounds like the penalty's going
You're
the other way.
entitled to make the tackle, mate, but you can't swing in. The penalty's against you for that. So the penalty's against you for that. Willie, come here, please. You cannot take the law into your own hands. Leave the game to me. The penalty's for the first offence, which is the swinging arm by Amor.
That's why the penalty's given.
He's not made contact with his head. He's swung his arm going into the tackle, and he's hit him on the back.
So anyway, it's a penalty to Wigan.
Hold! Go.
Here we go now with Isa.
Move, Johnny!
He doesn't care, does he, Willie Isa? He puts his body on the line. He knows for a large part of this game, people have been looking for him, and he just carts the ball up and says, come on then.
Bateman's taking a crack on the back of the head.
Play it, John. Come on. Go. Come. 3. Move. Hold. Wait here. Hold. Hold. Go.
There we go, George Williams drops the ball off to Liam Farrell again. Look at the leg drive there from Liam Farrell.
He's important to Wigan as well, you know. Unsung hero, Liam Farrell.
Well, that left edge is very good, isn't it? George Williams, Liam Farrell, Sean O'Loughlin.
Sam Powell here now. Bateman. Barry might get his drop goal wish in a minute.
Release. Last.
He's out the back.
Get square.
Tompkins is there. Here he is. Drop goal. Charge down. Charge down by William Walmsley, and Wigan get the ball back.
Yeah.
The attempted drop goal kicker.
They played a perfect game plan, Wigan.
St Helens caught offside to play the ball. Game over.
So 2 points in again. There we go again.
Isa and Amor.
Go away. Take them away.
They've been drawn into some stuff that they don't normally get drawn into.
Take them away.
St Helens.
Willie Isa then giving a little shove in the back on Louis McCarthy Scarsby.
Yeah.
He's a firecracker. I'll give him that, Willie Isa.
I'm just going to deal with Isa. Mate, you're in the bin. I told you about that the last time. Get in the bin.
Isa ends the match in the sin bin.
He's not the biggest. You won't want to cross him. I will say that about Willie Isa. He wears his heart on the sleeve. Well, there's the offside. This is what they get the penalty from. Not scored at marker. Louis McCarthy. He steps round Mickey McLaurin. And then Willie Isa, the man who he tangled with in the first half. A little nudge in the back.
And right in front of Robert Hicks.
Well, you know, the Warriors weren't the only team from Wigan last week to play a final in London. It was the Champion Schools final as well, and a school from the Wigan area called St Peter's had 3 boys teams in 4 finals. You know, the area produces so many good players, and I think that George Williams, one of those players from the Wigan schools, they do remarkably well. It's one of the advantages they've got over many other teams. A teacher there, Mr. Ashton's done remarkable work. To get one school having 3 teams in 4 finals was a testimony, and just supports what I've said so often, Eddie, about the Wigan club. The youth development, the natural talent pool that they have in that area just continues to produce players for them.
Yeah, the pool is deep, there's no doubt about that. They find them. What's more, they find them, and now and again they let them go and they flourish elsewhere. But Wigan have flourished here tonight. Sean Wayne will be delighted with this, particularly after the disappointment of last week. There'll be no time to restart the match, will there? Oh, well, maybe there will, because Robert Hicks has called time off with 4 seconds to go.
I'm sensing a lot of relief there from Sean Wayne and his staff. They've been under pressure for some time now, underperforming in games. They've turned out and give a perfect response a week after a defeat at Wembley.
That will do. Sean Wayne leads the applause for his team. Look at him, he's delighted. Absolutely delighted. And the fact that Willie Isa is in the bin, Paul Nuasala off the field as well, doesn't really matter as far as he's concerned. 2 tries from Gildart at the start of the match set the pattern for this. It was 14-4 at half-time, and